Your name, if you'll come up and take your spot behind this, we're going to start with the candidates. Tim Reed. Those are your place one. Place two, we have Dawn Tips. Place three, we have David Prescott. Nunu Perez. And Tom Sherman. And then in place four, we have Les Simpson. And Leif Curtis. And then at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Kelly Giles and Sarah Lavis. They're going to be our moderators tonight, and they're going to kind of go over the rules and those things.
Hey everyone, my name is Sarah Lavis. I'm a Randall County Precinct Chair and Pharmacist here in Amarillo. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. I think the debate is going to be really good. Just to give a quick rundown of how the debate is going to work tonight, we did do a quick run through for the candidates earlier on how it would work, but for you guys, so that you know, there are going to be 3 questions for the City Council, and then there's going to be 3 separate different questions for the mayor's race. Each question, they will have 2 minutes to respond. If they want to do a rebuttal, they can do that the next go-around, but they'll have to use that within their 2 minutes. There won't be extra time given. We are going to randomly draw from this little bucket here that Kelly's holding up, and that's how we'll select the first person to go. After they do their 2 minutes, they'll pass the mic until we go all the way around and get back to where we started, and then we'll do the next question. No phones or notes are allowed on stage. They've got blank pieces of paper and pen to take notes. Is there anything else that I missed, Kelly, that you can think of? Oh, for the mayor's race, they are going to have an opportunity to do a 2-minute ending statement at the end as well. So we'll go on and get started.
So I'm just going to make a quick comment that I'm asking everybody to put a smile on their face, because tonight we get to exercise our freedom. Absolutely. So put a smile on your face. We are a free Texas and a free country, and we want to enjoy that and be glad we're here. And we are in our city council structure. It is set up as a republic. Just like our state, just like our national, we are a republic. And yes, and that means that we elect people to represent us in the governance of our municipality, in this case. And so we are going to elect them to represent us. So I ask you to listen closely to all the answers and the questions, and we'll enjoy the evening, and we are happy to see you. We're happy for you to be here, and thank you for celebrating our republic with us this evening.
Okay, so we are going to draw for the first candidate to select. Moxie will have you draw who the first person will be. Okay, Tom Sherlin, you are our first candidate. Okay, so for question 1, Since everyone is running on fixing our infrastructure, keeping taxes low, and fighting crime, what are 3 additional objectives of your campaign?
I think we're live now. Okay. 3 major things in my campaign is to continue with public safety. We started public safety this year. We created through budget, we found extra $10,000 to give our first responders throughout fire and police. We've created a regional crime center, which is very, very important. We're also looking at bringing drones into the city where we can respond to fire and police. We can dispatch a drone from fire stations throughout our city. And through the drones, we will have firsthand information on what is actually happening at the scene. An officer may be out there by himself. We're sending other officers, but the other officers can see what's going on and what the scene's going to be. Secondly, I would like us to continue. This year we started with $1 million for new water lines in North Heights. I would love us to continue that and expand it throughout along North Heights. They've sort of been shortchanged over the last 50 plus years. We found $1 million this year to put into it. Thirdly, I would like to see us go ahead. We made a health care center in Potter County by our health department. It is a prenatal, postnatal, to help because Potter County has the highest rate of infant mortality. I would love us to see expand that into dental, eye care, everything else for the community. We're working for the citizens of Amarillo. All these things I mentioned are citizen-oriented. Thank you.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Yes. Since everyone is running on fixing infrastructure, keeping taxes low, and fighting crime, what are 3 additional objectives of your campaign?
Okay, yeah. Well, I think first and foremost, and what I've been proudest of that the council has done and working with the city staff to do this, is really looking for the ways to spend our money the most. And I think what we have to prove to the citizens in the community is that you're giving us your money, and it's an investment, and you should be getting a return on this investment. And so one of the things I think we need to continue to look on is looking at all areas of the budget to where we can continue to do these fundamental things. There are certain things that, and you mentioned 3 of them, that only government can do. And no one else is going to bring a police force in here. No one else is going to fix your infrastructure, your roads. So for me, focusing on those fundamental things, those 3 things are the top priorities that we've got to continue to work on in the coming 2 years. And you've got to have a strategy. There's been decades of neglect on our infrastructure. You're not going to set decades of neglect in just 1 or 2 years. It's going to have to continue to go. So I think looking at the budget efficiencies that we can get and being able to figure out how to reallocate those monies back into those things that have been ignored for many years is really the top priority that we need to focus on in the coming 2 years. Thank you.
Well, first and foremost, I'm just going to go ahead and come out and say it that I'm going to close the ADC cookie jar. I'm going to work my tail off to make sure that those systems and processes are in place to where the things that have happened can't happen any further, to where our taxpayers are questioning where their money's going towards. My next thing, in addition to the things that you listed, I'm tired of seeing Amarillo play catch up. We talk about what we need to do to get to these certain points, but that's not very much having a good foresight. It's just saying where we want to go. We're just saying where we want to get to versus what goals we have to get further ahead. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. What could our city leaders What could our fire chiefs, our fire leaders, what could our police leaders do if we were able to get ahead of the cost of living adjustments that we need to make, if we were to get ahead of other cities that are trying to take our firefighters and our police officers away. The next thing that we need to do, we need to start thinking a little bit outside the box, implementing things such as MUDs, municipal utility districts, finding ways to effectively grow our tax base while not being a huge burden on our taxpayers when we're upgrading those facilities and those infrastructures that need to be in place to start growing our city. You know, we want to attract businesses here, but they need a place to live, they need a place that they can go. Yeah, we've definitely got to start thinking outside the box on some of these things.
Can you go down here? Go to the team.
Can you please start off with your name? Not everybody knows who you are.
Tim Reed, Place 1. First, I'd like to thank everybody that's put their name on the line, the men and women that are running for these offices. I think it's very important that we appreciate as citizens what they're willing to do for you. As I look at the three things that I think are important outside the three that everybody is kind of running on, the first one that I would look at is the homeless issue that we have here in town. It is a big issue, and it's been worked on by the councils over the last 6 to 8 years, and it's getting better, but there's more that we can do. The second is when it comes to budgeting. When I was with the FBI and I ran a $65 million a year budget, every year I started with a zero-line budget, so it wasn't just take last year's budget and add a couple percent to it. Everybody had to qualify from their department exactly what they needed for the year, and that way we could concentrate on areas that were more important that particular year as opposed to the year before. So you're able to prioritize a little bit better. And the third area is something that we have to do as we look into the future, and that is our electric grid. We do not have the power to attract businesses that are going to be what our future is, and that is in the next generation of technology and AI. We do not have that capacity at this point. And in order to do that, we have to have a plan looking 5 to 10 years into the future, because it's not something you can do overnight.
It begins and ends with the economy. Over the past decade, Amarillo has only seen a 6% economic growth, whereas Lubbock has seen 13% economic growth. So we need to make sure that we are good stewards of taxpayer money, because I think it's wasteful spending for the current city council to be spending $345,000 on an Austin-based attorney to teach them how to run our city. We have a city attorney we should rely on. On top of that, it's wasteful spending for the city council to award a terminated city manager $730,000 from the enterprise fund, which actually goes and is designated to fund our drainage and sewage projects. So we need to also get serious about tying up those loose ends. But in addition to those issues, we need to look at the Vibrant Moms Project, something that is an established partnership between the City of Amarillo and the Texas Tech University Health Science Center in response to the high maternal morbidity and mortality due to the fact of preeclampsia. So we need to make sure that we're investing in the health care for our most vulnerable. We need to also look at the internal library fees, because they are actually becoming a burden for those who want to have access to our public library. And on top of everything else, we need to make sure that we are looking into affordable housing. As the candidate who received the endorsement from the Amarillo Association of Realtors, it is important that we simplify regulations and adjust zoning with buffers to ensure that there's more flexibility for our developers to increase the availability of homes.
Okay, my name is Don Tibbs. I'm running for
place two. I currently serve in Amarillo City Council place two. So 3 other areas that I would say that we need to continue to focus on would be transparency and communication. I think this council's done a phenomenal job of that. But one area that I think that we can do better is communication. What I really want to see is when our taxpayer dollars are being used for a project, that you get to see that. Like I know it's going to take a little bit of money, but to make a banner saying, hey, these are your taxes, your fees, your drainage fees you're providing for this project. Because I think there's a lot of things that we see around town and you think, well, gosh, what's this doing? Well, we want you to see that. But we also want the lights on all the time. We want you to see what's going on behind the city government. So I think communication and transparency. I think we continue with fiscal conservative policies. This council, I think the biggest thing that you can do when you serve on council is you manage that budget. Okay, just like Tim said, managing the budget is crucial. So, this last budget session, we found $2 million that was being overcharged in our pharmaceutical plan. We found that, we identified it, we got it to come down to $2 million a year. That's fiscal conservatism. We found the money for raises for our first responders, for our police officers and our firefighters. So that yes. Public safety, I know you said fighting crime, but public safety is broader than just fighting crime. So we continue through this fiscal conservatism and being diligent and good steward to find the money for our fire apparatuses, health screenings for our firefighters, raises to boost morale and to help with retention. I am going to come back to Patrick's comment about paying the $750 for Jared Miller. Let me tell you, that was contractual. That was nothing that we wanted to do. That was contractual, set forth by the previous council, the previous mayor. That is not something we wanted to do. We were forced to do it. So, appreciate you.
Hello, my name is David Prescott, and would you repeat the question one more time so we don't get mission drift?
Since everyone is running on fixing our infrastructure, keeping taxes low, and fighting crime, what are 3 additional objectives of your campaign?
Thank you for the question. I think it's a very relevant question because I'm very happy that my campaign started out on infrastructure and now everyone is talking about it. So that is a win for Amarillo right there. The 3 things that I really believe that would be additional to those 3 things, I think there needs to be something done with the homeless population. My wife and I are very familiar with that. We have a family member and is in that circumstance. It's very challenging for individuals that are homeless to find proper shelter, proper medication, and especially if the addiction is so great, you cannot get into some of the facilities that we have now. So we need to think outside the box. When you don't have a form of ID in this city to get the required forms of ID to be able to utilize the services we have, it's almost an insurmountable problem for some of these folks that we have in our community, and they are part of our community. Second, fair representation of all parts of the city. I can't believe how many people have reached out to me from the northeast side, from the northwest side, southeast, saying, hey, what's going on with our water? What's going on with the sewer? Why is this not happening? Why are we only talking sometimes about the southwest side of town? We're all citizens of this city. And if we're not giving enough money to certain parts because they're underrepresented, I think that's a huge problem. Amarillo is stronger when it's together. And we can't have silos in different areas where we're not moving together as a group. Parks, outside spaces, activities, man, it's tough here sometimes, especially when it doesn't rain. So if we can continue to find some dollars to work on that. And talking about dollars, I think that Tim and Patrick both said economic development. We have to start seeking funding right now at this next council for the critical issues. We need state dollars, federal dollars, grants, anywhere that we can find for the critical infrastructure pieces. And that would be my priority along with the others. Thank you.
Denny Perez, running for place 3. So on top of those 3 items, one of those that I look at would be, we need to build locations for our younger population, our future. I myself have an 8-year-old daughter, and it's kind of ridiculous, also exciting at times, but I have to travel to Dallas, Houston, Denver, for competitions that we can host right here in Amarillo, whether it be cheer, basketball, volleyball. We're not investing for that future here. When it comes to shove, when these kids start graduating, even at the last meeting that we had here, we had a group of young individuals. You know what? They got jobs in Dallas. That's where they're going. They're not sticking around. We need to invest in a community that grows right here, and the only way to do that is by building that right now for our young folks. Another item that I look at is finding permanent solutions for the fixes that repeat every election cycle. Roadways. Every 2 years is one topic. Asphalt only lasts for 2 years, apparently. They're not rated for the growth that we have and the growth that we're going to get in the future. We're the atrium of commerce. Amarillo is the atrium of commerce, especially with the growing expansion of I-27 and I-40 connecting east and west of our nation. We have to invest in that. Invest in those permanent solutions. We've got to revitalize our community, especially our north and east side of our community. Everywhere I go, every person I talk to, they ask me, what district do you represent? And that's probably the worst thing I could ever hear, because at the end of the day, we represent the entire community of Amarillo, not just one district. And it's sad to hear the population that believes that. That's where we're at currently. And I wish to tie that in where we don't have to face that going forward. Thank you.